Alright, so next is we're going to create buttons. Buttons you use for kind of navigating through your app, for doing certain things, and right now we're just focused on the UI components. So let's just make the buttons, and in the next part of the tutorial I can show you how to add actions to those buttons so that we can start doing things dynamically with our app. Alright, so let's create our first button. Var create user button. So the first thing in this app that you have to do in order to get push notifications to work is create a user. So we have to make a button that allows us to go to a page where we can create a user. So var create user button equals ti.ui.create button. Alright, so let's add some properties to this button. Let's give it its title so that the button shows what we want it to show. Let's show create user. Now let's give it the rest of its layout properties so that we know where it's going to be. Top. Let's give it 10 dp. Left. 10 dp. Right. 10 dp, and we will give it a height of 40 dp. Alright, so before I go ahead and show you what this button's going to look like, try and think about what I set as these properties and what it might look like in your head. So we created the user. The title is obviously going to be create user. And so what does this top property mean? This top property means from the topmost component, or the top of the screen, it's going to be 10 dp from the top. What does left mean? It's going to be the leftmost part of this component is going to be left. 10 dp from the left. And the right is going to be 10 dp from the right. So we're going to see this button that almost spans across the entire screen, and it's going to have a height of 40 dp. And nope, before I hit run, we should probably win1.add create user button. Now I didn't specify a layout property to my window, which I'll do now. And we're going to call it vertical. Your three options for layout are vertical, absolute. It's absolute by default. So you have vertical, absolute, and horizontal. Vertical means if you have a window or view that's vertical, everything that drops into that view, when you add it and use these add functions, it'll just be dropped down. It'll be stacked in a vertical manner. And if you use horizontal, it'll be stacked horizontally. So if I have a layout of vertical and we do add win1.add title, if I do this one first, it'll be at the top of the screen. And if I add the create user button second, it should be coming in right after it, and it'll be 10 dp from the last item that was in there. Wrong thing. Alright, here's our first button. Alright, so the first part of this app is just going to be putting in, these buttons and the UI components like I showed you before. And I don't want to waste your time by typing in every single component, but there is one thing I need to show you before I populate the page with the rest of the buttons, and that is a scroll view. This is one of your favorite friends here when coding apps. So we're going to do var ScrollView equals ti.ui.create ScrollView. And what this does is creates a view that we can add our UI components to, and if our UI component starts stretching past the height of our screen, the given height of our screen, then we can drag up and down and see everything that we have. This is just to make sure that we don't lose any components and not be able to click something if it's too far down the screen. So in our scroll view, we're also going to give it the same layout property as I showed before in the window. So we're going to call it vertical. And instead of adding everything into the window. Instead, we're going to add things into the scroll view. So let's change out this to scroll view. Change this out to scroll view. And now we're going to do a win1.add. So we won't be able to do it now, but if we put in, let's say that this create user button is actually way down at the bottom of the screen. We'll do 500 dp. The scroll view will allow us to scroll down to it. So here I have our component, two of our components on the screen. Our label, which we call the name of the app, and then this button, which I put all the way down at the bottom to show you that the scroll view allows us to scroll up and down. Alright? The one last thing I want to show you on this page is going to be a text field. Now we're going to have on this page a text field in order to subscribe to specific channels for push notifications. So let's just we're going to call this component channel. We're going to ti.ui.create text field. Hint text is going to be the first property we're going to throw in here, and it's just going to be little gray lettering that is going to show up before you enter anything into the text field, so that it kind of prompts the user as to what you should put into the text field or what's the purpose of it. So we're just going to call it enter something here for subscription. And we're going to give it some properties. We're going to give it to the similar properties that we gave the buttons. So everything looks similar. And styling properties, border style, input border style, and we're looking for rounded. Alright, and from here, let's change the top property back to 10 dp, and we will do the same here to get everything working as it should. And you know the drill. ScrollView.add channel. So take a moment to think, what should we see on the screen? We're going to see scroll view. We're not going to see it. We're going to see the background. We're just going to have the ability to scroll up and down if we need to. So we're going to add the title to it, and then we're going to have a button, and then we're going to have a text field, and that window is going to be opened, and inside that window is going to be a scroll view, and inside that scroll view are all of these three components that I just created for you. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like. And voila, we have our title, the button, and the text field that I recreated. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm going to enter in the rest of the buttons for this page, and we are going to finish off the UI component part of this tutorial. Stay tuned. So I've entered in the rest of the buttons here that we need on the starting page of this app. Create user, I added in the login, the logout, subscribe, and enable push notifications buttons. And now, right now, these don't do anything. But if you move to part 2 of the tutorial, I will show you how to add functionality to the buttons.